in Sydney, an officer has pulled aside this woman arriving from Vietnam. She has recently made lots of short-stay trips, and officers want to know the reason for this unusual bout of travel.
We're asking the passenger questions about her movements and about where she's been and what she's doing. However, the story is very disjointed, and we're just trying to get to the bottom of why she's not telling us the full story.
You travel a lot. How often do you travel to Vietnam?
My dad said I go.
Your dad's sick and so you go.
Yeah.
Is he sick all the time?
Sometimes good, sometimes no good.
Okay. So when he's no good, you go.
My father phone, I go.
He tells you when to go to come visit him. Okay. So is he...
With the huge amount of brief visits, her story doesn't add up for experienced officers, as they know drug couriers commonly make frequent stops when setting up a drug run. The investigation will now be stepped up.
I'm just going to take a swab of your item here.
What we're going to do is this, test on the item, and it will tell us if there's drugs or explosives.
A positive drug reading could reveal the real reason for her frequent travel and put a very different slant on her story. It's 6 a.m. in Brisbane, and Australian Border Force officers have stopped this American arriving from Bali. He has a highly unusual assortment of luggage and claims he is here for a 2-week holiday.
So when you leave here today and go out there, what are you going to do?
Check out probably the downtown area. I prefer the happening spots rather than boring suburbs and
After months of travelling, the passenger says Australia is his last stop before returning home to Florida in the US. But he has declared food and plant material on his incoming passenger card, so officers need to conduct a full baggage search.
What's this one, mate?
chocolate.
And as they take a closer look, raw vegetables, leftovers and other food items are immediately located. So biosecurity officer Shane is called to join the inspection.
What's that one, mate?
It's a beet, half of a beet. You just take some scissors and shave it off and it's as good as new.
Uncooked rotting vegetables are only the beginning of the bizarre collection of goods this man has brought with him. There are empty drink bottles, a bag of hay and dozens of plastic bags, each containing a small food item.
Why do you keep a little bit of everything, mate? It's quite unusual. Like a handful of popcorn, why not just eat it and buy some the next place you go to?
Well, I mean, maybe sometimes I pack like little snack kits, like for a walk or something, and like 3 dates exactly, right?
3
like
days.
yeah. So, hey, that'll do the job.
As the search continues, the passenger realizes he might be in for a long wait, so he decides to make himself comfortable. But he is feeling optimistic about his visit to Australia.
Well, I've just wanted to come for some time, and it's finally the chance to come, and hey, it's off to a good start.
Border Force officers in Melbourne are checking the luggage and the travel documents of this tour group arriving from China.
And you are his wife? Yeah?
Yes,
All the tourists are cleared to enter the country.
Okay, so that's good.
However, it seems the group's tour leader may have another agenda.
This one, how much altogether?
A large haul of tobacco is found in the woman's bag, despite her failure to declare on her incoming passenger card.
Why did you tick no when you should have ticked yes?
I'm sorry.
Did you say no because you didn't want to have to pay tax?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't want to pay tax.
Okay, all right, fine. I understand.
The tour group who are in this woman's care do not speak English and are in Australia for the first time. As their guide is now detained, they're understandably worried about what it'll mean for their trip.
Thank you very much.
The group must head to the arrivals hall without their leader. Australian Border Force have some serious concerns about her reason for carrying so many cigarettes.
And we're going to do a tape recording. Okay, we have to ask you some more questions in relation to it. So do you want to come into the room with us?
Border Force suspects she may be part of a bigger operation and now need to investigate further. This woman arriving from Vietnam doesn't know it yet, but an item from her luggage has just tested positive for traces of ephedrine, a precursor for ice, the deadly and highly addictive narcotic.
You would have noticed the baggage examination proceeding, and they came with some wands and swabbed some items. They wiped them, this officer here and another officer. Those swabs have come back positive for a border-controlled substance. In this case, it's ephedrine, because we found them in here, and we think it may be drugs at this stage.
Further inspection of the item, which tested positive, reveals another concerning anomaly. What appears to be a regular hot water bottle seems to contain something it shouldn't.
But upon inspection, it has an inspection hole in there, a clear perspex one. The material inside is not liquid or water, it's a powdery substance.
With this, here, for your shoulder, hot water.
Yeah, hot water.
Yeah, hot water bottle.
Yeah.
What's this?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. Give them hot water.
Yeah. But inside, there's no water.
No water.
No water? Yeah. But this is not water.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry.
You don't know?
Although the woman claims ignorance, another package found in her possession reveals the same powdery substance and immediately raises the concern that she might be part of a larger syndicate trying to bring drugs into Australia. This tour group has been forced to enter Australia without their tour leader after Australian Border Force caught her with a large haul of undeclared tobacco. She has now been detained for further questioning.
You have arrived as part of an organised tour group, and how many passengers were with you?
18位。
All right, so on your incoming passenger card, did you declare whether or not you were carrying in excess of the prescribed amount of tobacco into Australia?
我没有写。
I didn't write it. Why did you not declare how much tobacco you were bringing into Australia?
不想交税。
Because I don't want to pay tax. And how many cigarette cartons were you bringing into Australia?
是那个34。
37 packages.
Failing to declare tobacco is unlawful, but it isn't usually a reason for visa cancellation. However, on this occasion, Officer Lucy has received information and now knows there's more to this case than first thought.
She has done it previously on 3 occasions. The last occasion she was caught in Cairns.
And so she confronts the passenger with this new information.
So in discussing your situation with my colleague, he advised that you previously were caught with in excess of the allowed limit of cigarettes. Is this correct?
In Brisbane, Australian Border Force, working alongside biosecurity officers, have uncovered some extraordinary items in the luggage of a US citizen who says he has been travelling the world.
Left out of Seattle and then went to Japan and Taiwan, Philippines and Brunei, and just came from Indonesia today.
But he's not carrying the usual travel souvenirs, and checking it all is a huge job for officers.
Yeah, we've been here a couple of hours. It's purely because he has a multitude of plastic bags, and each plastic bag we have to undo because he has something like this in it. So each item has to be checked because in Australia we are very strict with what comes into the country. So yeah, we're going to take our time and make sure that we get it all.
You get 1,000 little bags again, huh?
No.
All foodstuffs?
No, these are all dried plants.
These are all dried plants?
Yeah.
Some of the food items and plant material the man is carrying could contain pests and diseases, and most of it will not be allowed to enter the country. But it doesn't end there.
What is that? Spicy, fragrant condiments.
Spices, sauces, and what he claims is olive oil in a used water bottle are added to the pile, as the passenger, Stephen, says they are all necessary.
Anything from, if I get stuck in a hotel room for days at a time, which does happen sometimes, I'll carry this lightweight pot here, and I normally have a little hot plate to cook this on. You never know when you're going to get stuck in a hotel room for 2 or 3 days by yourself, and why not just have everything you need, or live in the bush for 2 or 3 days at a time.
It seems he has packed almost everything he needs for any situation that might pop up.
What do you want? These are empty alcohol bottles. What do you want with them? Can we keep them?
Well, I use them for perfume sometimes.
Okay.
Officers must inspect and assess every item. And this well-travelled passenger is a little surprised.
Once in a while they go through it, It actually happens more or less when I get back to the U.S. from these trips. Matter of fact, this sets the record. This is the most time it's ever taken.
While inspecting his luggage, Border Force officers are also assessing the passenger's visa status, and they need to check how he is funding his stay. If he doesn't have enough money, then he may find himself heading back to the States sooner than he planned. Border Force officers are on high alert after a number of items in this woman's possession have been found loaded with an unusual powdery substance.
You don't know?
Oh, okay, I don't know.
What about this? What's this for? For your skin. What's this in here?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it doesn't stop there.
It's a bit funny, but
Oh, why is it so solid down there?
might be something in it.
Do you feel how hard that is? Try and squeeze it.
Oh,
Aren't you supposed to be able to squeeze it out? Well, it appears that most containerised items that we've got, boxes of coffee, tins of chrysanthemum tea, the hot water bottle, we've got a couple of shampoo or moisturiser bottles, would all contain a material that wasn't originally placed in there.
Her luggage is riddled with packets containing the same suspicious powder, so this investigation must be stepped up.
So at this stage, we will continue on with the passenger. We'll take them to an interview room to conduct a formal interview, and we'll conduct some testing of the material itself.
We're going from here. I'll go into the room now. Okay? Because of all of this. We're going into the room. Okay? So you want to take your bag? Yep.
Officers now question the woman further and conduct secondary testing to confirm exactly what she might be attempting to smuggle into Australia. Following an exhaustive 2.5-hour search through this man's bizarre collection of fruit and vegetable scraps, Border Force and biosecurity officers have discovered many items that could pose a serious biosecurity risk.
A heap of unidentified plant material, you carry disease, obviously, fruit and vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower. You had a fair mix of everything, really.
The prohibited items will be seized, but while they have been searching his luggage, officers have also been assessing the passenger's eligibility to enter Australia.
I've been able to confirm now that he receives money from some sort of beneficiary, and that is how he travels around the world.
With sufficient funds and a return ticket, officers are satisfied the man is here as a tourist and he is allowed to enter the country. But they have advised him to lighten his load for next time.
It's a good idea. Believe me, I tried to. It's just, I don't know. I never know what I'm going to run into. I might run into a beautiful forest where I can camp. So why not have, all the food that I need, and like here, let's camping mat, and yoga mat to sleep on or whatever. I mean, better to have than, excuse me, what the guy on the survival show, he said it, better to have and not need rather than not have and need or something like that. So.
And the passenger wants to make one thing clear.
I'm not like a hoarder or anything. No, everything here would be accounted for. I mean, if I come across some molded jelly beans, yes, I'll throw them out. Believe me, it looks worse than I'm...
He's lucky that he declared all his goods, so there will be no penalty.
If you declare, there is no fine. If you can't bring it in, they'll take it off you and give you like just a notice to say that, but otherwise there's no penalties for doing the right thing.
All is not lost, however, as the passenger decides to pay a holding fee to keep some of his veggies and utensils at the airport, so he can pick them up on his way out of Australia.
Take care.
Previously were caught with in excess of the allowed limit of cigarettes, is this correct?
This Chinese tour guide has been caught with a large quantity of tobacco in her luggage. And Australian Border Force officers have information that suggests she might not be acting alone and could be part of a bigger operation.
On your previous entries into Australia, have you brought in cigarettes in excess of the prescribed amount?
有过
Yes. And how many times have you brought those cigarettes in?
3次
3 times.
Border Force officers have concerns that this could be part of an organised crime syndicate.
Who organises the cigarettes for you to bring into Australia? Is this the company that you do the tour group with?
只是大家都是领队
I don't know which company because we don't know each other, but we are all legal, and then they will distribute to us, and we will be paid for our labor.
It's now confirmed the woman is working as a mule and smuggling tax-free tobacco under the guise of her job as a tour leader. Her admission to receiving payment confirms a breach of the conditions of her visa.
It appears that there may be grounds to consider cancellation of your visa today based on the fact that you have engaged in working activities in Australia, not as a tour guide, but because you are selling tobacco into Australia, you're not declaring and you're not paying tax on.
Unless she can provide a valid reason to stay, it looks like this tour guide will be on the first available flight home. Before a decision is made to cancel the woman's visa, Officer Lucy gives the passenger an opportunity to plead her case.
Okay, so if you have any comments or a response that you'd like to give me.
没什么可说的
I have no comment.
Okay, so your response to me making a decision today on whether or not to cancel your visa is that you have no comment?
没有要说的
You have nothing to say.
It's a clear-cut decision for Australian Border Force.
So therefore, your visa has now been cancelled. You have been refused immigration clearance today.
Australian Border Force officers are conducting tests on a powder which was concealed in various packages carried into the country by this woman.
Okay, the samples come up as positive to pseudoephedrine.
Secondary testing now confirms the substance is ephedrine. Ephedrine is a precursor drug primarily used to manufacture crystalline methamphetamine, commonly known as ice. Up until now, the passenger has claimed ignorance about the items in her possession.
She's calm, collected. She doesn't seem to show any signs that she's involved in any nefarious activity. So.
But the reality of her situation now appears to dawn on her, and her steely resolve crumbles. Caught red-handed with a total 6.7 kilograms of ephedrine, the woman is arrested and taken into custody.